Welcome back to another episode on the J.A.T side. I'm your host, Jalen Austin Taylor, and today is Thursday, August 20th, 2026. And just glad to be back for another episode with you all. Got a couple of quick announcements before we hop into the main topic of today's episode. Announcement number one is that inspiration for Gen Z 2 is almost here. The targeted release date for my second book will be Friday, September 4th. So in about 2 weeks from today. That is the targeted release for Inspiration for Gen Z 2 Labor Day weekend, the first day of Labor Day weekend. More details coming soon. Definitely follow the socials if you have not already. Obviously, the book page, it's just at Inspiration, the number 4, and then Gen Z. No underscores, no special characters, nothing like that. And then also, I repost everything usually on the J.A.T side Instagram and on my personal Instagram for those of you who have that. And then announcement number 2 is that I will be moving in officially to college next. I was about to say next week. It's actually tomorrow. Going to be moving in to college. So the future of the podcast is still in good hands. Definitely going to try to find a way to still make episodes while I'm up there. But definitely maybe a couple of weeks with no episodes, following just moving in and everything like that. So I would definitely, again, follow socials for more information, but definitely will keep you all posted on that. But just glad to be here today. So that's all the announcements I have for you all. We're going to go ahead and hop straight in to the main topic of today's episode, and that is the title, simply Show Up. And I was inspired to create this episode not only because this is the last episode that I'm making, before I go off to school, but also, there was a situation that happened this morning, and I'm driving back home from it, and I'm thinking like, wow, this would be pretty good to talk about. So just want to expand on that idea. To give you all some context to begin, this morning I was supposed to have a workout at 6:00 in the morning. I know some of you all are probably sleeping this morning at 6 a.m. I know, most days I could say the same thing usually. I'm also usually sleeping at 6 a.m. most days at this point. But had a 6 a.m. scheduled workout this morning. I get up, alarm goes off at 5:20, get my stuff together, get downstairs. It's about probably like 5:40. And when I wake up, I know a lot of people do this, but I've just found it better for me and my health. Waking up in the morning, I don't usually just directly go and, look at my phone. And today I didn't do that. So I finally checked my phone after I got all my stuff together. I was downstairs, like I said, about 20 minutes after I woke up at 5:20. And I checked my messages, and I see a text from my trainer, my strength and conditioning trainer. Shout out to Jumpman if you're listening to this. But yeah, Jumpman texted me and was like, there's no training today, no training this morning. And mind you guys, this message was sent at like 2:00 in the morning. So I went to sleep at about 10:00 last night. So of course I wouldn't have saw the message when he originally had sent it anyway. But I checked my phone. Now that's the first message that I see when I wake up. Like when I finally check my phone, it's like no training this morning, and I'm already, getting ready to go out the door. And I had two options at that moment. One, I could have, you know, went back upstairs and went back and got back in the bed and got an extra 2-3 hours of sleep. Potentially 4. I mean, but instead, the other option I had was to still go to the gym, you know, and still get a workout in. And I chose number 2, the second option, because I think it's important. There's an important lesson that you guys, everybody listening, can take from this, no matter how old or how young you may be. When you make a commitment to something and it doesn't, always maybe go the way that you planned it to go, you can still follow through. Like, let's say you were supposed to study for, this is just another example. You were supposed to study for a test, with one of your friends. Y'all scheduled a time, a place, and all that. But, last second, like an hour before, may have not been in the midnight hour like my situation was, but maybe y'all were supposed to study at 6 o'clock. You got a text from them at 4:45 saying, "Hey, not going to be able to make it tonight. Had something emergency come up, whatever." Now it's like it's on you, to make that decision that I had to make this morning. It's like, are you going to make the decision to still study for that test so you can get a good grade on it, or are you going to let the fact that your friend no longer can join you, you're going to let that deter you from studying for the test, and then you'll get the results that come from that. I think don't let somebody else not showing up be an excuse for you to not show up, because a lot of times in life we're going to be faced with this similar circumstance. It's like, are we still going to do what we said we were going to do just because somebody else can't do what they said they were going to do? And I think that's just more of a accountability thing. Like, that's something that you have to be able to look yourself in the mirror and say, like, yeah, I'm gonna follow through, or no, I'm not going to. Either way, that's something that you have to hold yourself. Oh my God, that's something that you have to hold yourself accountable to. And I've learned this over several years playing sports, being a part of multiple teams. You kind of you have to learn how to be dependable, and one of the ways you can be dependable is by holding yourself accountable before somebody else has to. There's been a lot of times where I've had to be held accountable before somebody else, or before I hold myself accountable. But when you reach a certain level of maturity, you understand that you have to hold yourself accountable before somebody else has to hold yourself accountable. Because as adults, as young adults, or even if you're still in high school, listening to this, you're about to be a young adult in quicker time than you can ever imagine. I think that's one of the things that separates, like, the most successful people from the average people, or people who don't succeed at all. Well, or people who don't have a lot of success, is the fact that they hold themselves accountable at a higher rate, and they know how to get the best out of themselves. So my message to you all today is follow through even when something else doesn't seem like, or someone else doesn't seem like they're going to follow through, or they can't follow through, because life is real. Emergencies happen, disasters happen, and things come up unexpectedly. That's just life. But again, I've probably said this a few times before, but when life, you know, throws you a curveball, you got to be able to adjust it, and that's just the bottom line. So, that's my challenge for you all. Whether, um, like I said, you're in high school, college, already in the real world, working a job of some sort. Um, take this mindset into everything you do in your life. Be the person who follows through even when blank happens. Like, because when you do that and you practice that, you're number one, holding yourself accountable, and number two, you're also, practicing just great skills to have, period. And yeah. So I just wanted to share that. But also to finish that story, so I get to the gym at 6 o'clock in the morning, decided to follow through. I get there and I walk in the gym, no sign. I wasn't expecting him to show up. Of course, I saw his message. Went in there, got a little stretch in, um, read some scripture before I did my workout, and then started working out, got on the treadmill, did a little warm up, got some cardio in, jogged like a quarter mile, and then got straight into some weights. I was gonna get some weights and then get some shots up, in the gym, on the basketball court, specifically in the gym. And it's like 6:25. I've been working out for about 15 minutes at this point, and I look to my right. I'm doing some tricep pull downs, and I look to my right, and I see Jumpman walking in, and I'm like, "What the heck is going on?" So I was so surprised to see him because obviously he texted me at like 2 a.m. saying there was no training, and that was the last person that I expected to see walk in the gym. And we actually were able to get a training session in. Shout out to Jumpman once again for showing up, even though he said he wasn't going to. So we actually ended up getting the workout in, like I said. Got a pretty nice workout in. But another message that I want you all to take from this story is that even when you think, a situation may be already, already decided, already, you know, final, remember that God always has the final say in every situation. I didn't know that Jumpman was gonna show up. I had no. I actually thought he wasn't going to show up because of what he texted me. But God knew. God knew that Jumpman was gonna show up. But God wanted to see if I was gonna show up, and I did. So I think sometimes it's just about showing up, even when it's some uncertainty in the air, even when you have doubts, fears, questions. Still show up. Still be willing to make that commitment that you, or follow through with that commitment that you made. Because I already made the commitment that I was going to work out at 6 a.m. So, of course, originally thought it was going to be with Jumpman. Plans changed, but they didn't actually change. I thought the plans changed, and then the plans actually didn't change. But again, don't ever let your mindset let you believe that a situation has been completely decided, because as long as you have breath in your body, God can change your situation. He can turn everything around in an instant. So, obviously he just showed up at the gym. But I'm thinking about this on a deeper level, because I think a lot of times we've all been in that situation, whether it's been with a workout or anything like that. But it's like, if we show up, if we keep on showing up, even amid all of that, fear, doubt, uncertainty, questions, if we continue to show up, God is going to show up in ways bigger than we could ever imagine. So don't give up, no matter what you're going through. Continue to push through, continue to show up, continue to try to be the best version of yourself, and watch the way that God works through your life. And yeah, stay blessed. That's all I have for you all today. I hope you all enjoy the rest of this beautiful Thursday evening. And until next time, I'm your host, the one and only Jalen Austin Taylor, and I'm out.